That's a Shame is brought to you by the people who support us over at patreon.com/shamecity.
If you have $1,
$2.
$1 to spare, join us again at patreon.com/shamecity. Please.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome back to another free episode of That's a Shame. That's right, gratis.
You've stressed that for the first time ever. What's that about?
What it's about is a real push towards a value for value model where we chuck out the free words and you chuck out the good money.
The quid pro quo.
In a way, but the quid is on them and we're giving the quote.
Yeah.
The quotes, as it were. Did you know, I don't know if I've shared this before, I'm Isaac, by the way, this is Declan.
I am Declan.
You're listening to That's a Shame, a free episode. There are not free episodes available at patreon.com/shamecity, close brackets. In my sixth form, where I went to, we did a yearbook. I don't know if you did yearbooks at your schools.
We did a yearbook, yeah.
And they really went for the full, American version of it. Because we did it at my secondary school as well, but it was quite plain. It was not super exciting. Just lists of stuff that people did.
The year?
Yeah, I don't know about you. I've never bothered to read that back myself. Because all the memories, they're locked up in here. And most of them I don't want. Anyway.
No. If only there was a sort of yearbook where you could, kind of Ponsive style, just expel those out
through
into
the eyes.
it and then keep them...
Cry out the knowledge, you mean?
and then just keep it in the book.
Yes, that would be good. And perhaps you can open it and dive in to re-examine those memories.
I thought that you didn't want to.
I didn't. Yeah, no, you're right. I was thinking of someone else's memories.
There we go, yeah.
In my sixth form, they took it far more seriously. There were online polls where you could vote for the superlative things. So best, I can't think of any other than the ones that I know about. I was third best all-rounder. That's quite good.
Wow.
Considering I'd only been there for 2 years, most of them know each other since they're 11.
Third best all-rounders.
I like that. It's quite
You're
good.
not even jack of all
Yeah.
trades.
I think it's very on brand to be bronze award all-rounder.
Yeah.
It just means you're
We couldn't identify you as anything in particular.
Yeah, you can do everything.
But we
It's
also
just you
couldn't
ought to.
identify you as the person who does everything.
But then I did win. What is it? It's either most... it was best quotes or most quotable. And to everyone that voted for me, because it showed, people would message you, be like, oh yeah, I voted for you for this. And I was like, okay, thanks, but can you tell me
One
single quote I've ever said in my
Everyone
whole
was
life?
wandering around saying Movis.
Oh, God. I hadn't even come across Movis back in those days. That was a much later
Brighter
development.
times.
Honestly, nothing at all. But nowadays, I guess fast forward a few years, and I am
Quotable
hugely
as fuck,
quotable.
yeah.
We're always going around
We're on
saying-
mugs.
Here we are. We're on multiple different mugs. They'll be available for sale over at patreon.com/shamecity.
Pretty sure we didn't make those.
We will be selling them tea stains and all.
our ones.
Tea stains and all. You can have our stained cushion as well if you'd like. You can't. We need it. We need it for sitting on. We've got a episode today. I omit the adjective intentionally because I'll admit it's not one of our more planned ones, but different strokes for different folks. Some people love the planning. Some people love to dive straight in to an ad hoc improv episode.
And which are you?
I'm the second one. No, I'm both. Sometimes it's good to do a bit of planning. We didn't do that this week. Sometimes, however, it is good to dive in and see what kind of fertile ground is seeping through our brain boxes and out of which germinates various seeds of knowledge, wisdom and fun.
I thought you'd like to know that the inside of your window's damp.
I know. Condensation. That's why I've had to move all my sheet music away from the windowsill.
no.
Lest it become damp beyond use.
You should do something about that.
What do you do to
Open
fix
the
that?
window.
You can't just have it open all the time though. It's freezing.
Yeah, you can.
It's so windy as well, it
all
blows right open.
It does like to do that.
Yeah, and then my curtains get wet, so that's a problem. If you're a DIY
This
expert,
little Coco-esque figurine you've got there.
yeah, leave him alone. What we've got today is something that we've sort of done before and are revisiting, but also a kind of new variant on it. Why don't you explain, Declan, how you came up with the project?
Thanks for
So it's something
throwing
you've been
this one
working
over
on
to me.
for how long?
Well, at least the latter half of 5 minutes. We've got up some random word generators. Now, not just any words.
Yeah.
They're broken down into the word types, the word food groups of noun,
Yeah.
adjective,
Vegetable.
verbiage.
Yes.
And what is going to happen? We're going to get a random one of each of these.
A random noun, a random, let's call them adges. Like, you'll be like, throw me an adge.
We're going to get a non, an adj, and a verb.
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to have to, around that, improvise. What on earth could it all mean? In the context, potentially, hopefully, aiming towards a game.
But only a game because, like, you know, they're not the only art form. It's just that they're the only one that kind of accommodates the full spectrum of what you can have.
And they're really the only sort of art form, apart from the Choose Your Own Adventure book, where you have something of an objective.
Yeah,
that's true. Exactly. To complete.
You can't just be, it's a film where this one bit, someone says these 3 words once. That's not interesting or fun. We know good content, and that ain't it.
It's like the Dara O'Brien bit about how games are the only content that actively prevent you from accessing all of the content. Like no album stops you for a quiz.
Very
3
few
tracks
paintings
through.
require that you pay them a little fee. Although I suppose that's changed now with Patreon, like stuff that's locked behind things, gated content. What a world.
DLC.
When Tim Berners-Lee vomited up the internet, did he think that everything would be gate kept?
Are we going to pour one out for our homie who invented the cut, copy and paste and is no longer with us?
Yes, and yeah, I'm sorry he's dead. I use that all the time. But this just in today, in Flat Earth news, I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
Mental Mike is not his name. It's something like Big Daddy Mad Mike, who we covered on this show, or at least near it. He was one of the big flat earthers who was funding his own rocket project to go and see the curvature. He brought all the funding together. He assembled the rocket.
Yeah.
He took off and he's dead now. Today. Now that's there's footage of it now, that I've had to
and you're saying that he just exploded.
I think he found out the truth of just how flat the Earth was.
Just how round.
Couldn't take it. He pressed the detonator.
Wow. Why have you not watched it?
I don't like to watch people die.
Why not?
I find it a bit grim.
But he's all right. That's pretty comic death.
No,
because he arranged. He basically crowdsourced his own death.
I think he did GoFundMe. Imagine doing a GoFundMe to die.
For your own
that must be a
suicide.
Thing for like euthanasia.
Yeah.
Dignitas. GoFundMe to Dignitas.
Not many of those are. I'm going to build a rocket and launch myself just far enough into space that I die.
Would you like to say a few words? Because obviously, like as a certified member of the Flat Earth community, the FEC.
I would, and those words are. I'm glad he's dead.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
He was a source of mischief and fun, and now he's no more.
I feel like he was, like most of them, an abusive anti-Semite.
We don't know that. We can't allege these things about, at least of all the dead.
At the very least, he hadn't left a group that was absolutely sinking in the stuff.
I don't know if he was even in the group.
And therefore...
He's a celebrity flat earther in many ways.
He's tacitly approving of it, that's what I'm saying.
You think because he hasn't outwardly condemned flat earth, whatever it's called.
The racism.
No trolls.
Yeah.
Facebook group.
Exactly.
That's one take.
Look, if people are going to call on Bernie Sanders to condemn everyone who tweets in his name, this fucker.
Are you a Magic Mike bro? That's not his name. Let me just find out a bit more information about this.
Okay, you go ahead and do that.
Flat Earth News.
While Isaac does that, I'm going to say there's so many projects coming up, lads. This one's falling apart. Right?
The wheels have come off this baby.
The seams are tearing asunder.
The thing is, though, this one is sort of repositioning to be... Well, it's always been the central, the backbone, the spine, the core of everything that we do. And it's out of this fertile trunk.
I'm doing the talking. You're finding Magic Mike info.
So this one will remain in place.
You're getting up your Magic Mike videos.
I've got it.
So, yeah, we've got sort of interesting stuff about streaming you may have seen.
Twitch.tv/ShameCityTV.
Wow.
How about shame.city/Twitch? We'll set that up.
Okay,
instead.
yeah.
Remind me to do that.
I will remind you to do that, yeah. That's happening. That's already happened.
Yeah, we'll be going
Well, the Twitch hasn't. We streamed once successfully on YouTube.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan from YouTube who watched it for God only knows what reason.
Mad, isn't it?
But you lads can come over and watch us as well.
Spooky's Magic Mansion.
It's, I tell you what, thousands of rooms. We're doing that. We've got interesting news of an entirely new project
that we teased in the sort of advert episode that I will have since deleted off the feed, but I'm sure you listened. I'm sure you loved it.
I'm sure you definitely did, yeah.
Because it's just like the relationship we're trying to cultivate is just like you're popping around to Uncle Declan's house for
you
a
wouldn't
chat.
see that and then be like, oh, I'll listen to that in a week's time. You'd just dive straight in. When you saw it was that brief and it was like a little ad.
And it was called not clickbait or something.
It was called Listen to This, please.
Something like that.
Give us some money.
Metro has the story. This is Joe Roberts reporting at 10:45 a.m. GMT. A US Daredevil pilot has died after his self-made rocket crashed into the ground.
He wasn't fucking Evel Knievel. He was a nutcase.
Mad Mike Hughes, 64, hoped to blast
Beyond
himself
hoping.
into outer space to check for himself, bad copy, Joe, we don't repeat himself, whether the Earth is flat or a globe. Now, this is to misunderstand the flat Earth doctrine to some extent. There are multiple other options available. The snow globe thesis, the kind of disc with like some curvature but not as much as you'd think. Shocking footage shows his steam-powered rocket, which I'm amazed had enough power to kill him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Being fired into the sky.
Say that again. A steam-powered rocket?
Yeah, it's like Jules
How
Verne.
far was he hoping to get?
Well, I think he went pretty far. Oh, God, this is bad. He plummeted... The rocket plummeted to the ground. Mike's parachute was seen dropping to the ground, comma, and a powerful clause here, without his body attached.
Oh no! They sort of led with the good, and then just pulled the rug from under our feet.
But look, here's a little picture of it, and it's gone pretty high. I think you'll agree. That's in the clouds.
That's quite high. Yeah,
those are the clouds that it's in.
And did he manage to shout down any news before?
It's no one's sure what that F was going to be. It's full on round, he was going to say, or it's flat. It's hard to know. His team spent £14,000 building the rocket, and that could be one of the problems.
I would not. You couldn't pay me 14 grand to get in a real rocket, let alone one that has been crowdsourced and you've built for me to die in.
He's got a history of attempting breathtaking stunts. So this is a man who lived his life to the full and kind of, in a very real way, probably did die doing what he loves, which is dangerous stunts.
To prove
hokum. His first successful rocket launch, he reached a height of 1,800 feet in the Mojave Desert. That's pretty good. You ever done...
That's not that high, though,
is it? It's really big. It's higher than like any height I've ever been in a rocket.
Yeah, I know, but...
He set a Guinness World Record in 2002 when he jumped 31 metres in a stretch limo. Sort of branching out.
The thing about these sorts of things is when people have been to the moon.
Yeah. Well, they haven't, but when Kubrick pretended.
Then this isn't a feat. What you're saying is you've just done a lot less.
No, because it's all premised on the NASA thing being fake. So in the flat Earth community, he probably, and we should check this, is even now
the highest anyone's ever been.
He's got the flat Earth record.
But people, they know that planes exist. Like, he didn't go as high as planes, did he?
They don't think planes are happening properly. They think they're just sort of...
They're just skimming across the high street.
They think that planes don't go up, but that the world goes down below them. So planes stay at sea level, and sea level goes down to Satan's level, at best.
And that's why everything's so terrible. Is that what they're saying?
Now look, interview, satisfying, system is a bad one. Leaders. Interview satisfying leader.
Okay.
Yep.
So is this interview satisfying leader is the interesting part here, I think. What do you take as satisfying?
Well, what I want to add first of all is that I think this is part of an anthology series called Interview : and then today's episode in like Hitman released episodically is called Satisfying Leader. So it's a bit like Netflix did that crime thing where it's called
American Crime Story.
No, not that one. The one that's just called like Criminal, and then they did like Criminal UK, Criminal France, and they're all standalone episodes where David Tennant plays a child molester in every one. Weirdly, in French,
he's nailed that.
It's good because you don't expect it from David because he seems like a real stand-up guy, but then he's out there. Not David Tennant, the actor, just the character.
Noncing away.
Diddling it up.
Yeah.
So Interview could potentially be a series of games.
Dear, you're crushing your little wire.
That's all right. I don't need that wire. A series of games where just so happens it could be like Interview Chef, Interview Mad Mike, Interview.
I think they're all. I think surely they must all be adjective noun. Like this one,
okay.
so it doesn't break.
Interview Dirty Chef.
Interview dirty teacher. In fact, this is the first non-dirty...
It's the first departure.
Okay, so satisfying leader.
Yeah. What about it?
Like, satisfying is interesting as opposed to satisfactory.
Or satisfied leader.
Yeah.
Satisfied leader, I couldn't be less interested in interviewing.
I don't want them.
Because what are they going to just be smug about how good their country is?
Yeah.
We've assumed it's a country. I could be the leader of a cult.
Yeah.
And what's more satisfying than that?
Maybe... what about this?
Go on.
One interview, that's something of sort of burying the lead.
Yeah.
It's speed dating.
Oh, okay.
It's a speed dating game.
A sort of like dating sim.
Yeah, and they're all leaders of some kind, and you've got to find the one who'll be able to satisfy
your sexual needs to fuck a leader.
Yeah, but also some other kinks that you've got
that you don't want to be. So it's a game of like push and pull. It's like, how much can I reveal my hand when my hand is an egregious and frankly illegal fetish in the case of your player character.
And what is that?
What
is your character?
Fucking clouds.
Fucking clouds.
Yeah.
You don't need a leader.
You need a permit, mate. And a steam-powered rocket.
We're just we're speed dating the comptroller to see if he'll give us a permit to fuck the sky.
Yeah, well, that's that one.
Imagine debasing yourself to the point of fucking some sort of city official, only to find out that they don't hand those out.
The clouds.
That's not it.
It's not in our remit.
You have to fuck the military.
It's the RAF. All of them. Yeah, I see.
I imagine it is a sort of Papers, Please style. So like they're sort of sliding along. There's like a bit of like give and take.
I want to add a potential.
A bit like Monster Seeking Monster as well. You know how you've got that text.
Yeah. I know the one. What if? Have you seen the Christmas Prince series of movies on Netflix?
I've seen the first one where there's the girl of indeterminate level of disability.
Yeah.
Where sometimes she like cannot move.
She's
got
super
bones
strong
turned to stone.
Something.
And then also sometimes she's just like running and doing archery.
She doesn't run, but she does do archery. Yes, I think she ebbs and flows as the scene demands. Seems to be part of the vibe. But the Christmas Prince it could be Christmas Prince tagline: interview satisfying leader, because her job is a reporter. She goes there under false pretenses to get a story and ends up marrying and becoming the Christmas Queen and having last year now, the Christmas baby.
Is she not the Christmas princess?
No, because he does become king eventually, I think. That's a big plot point.
She doesn't marry him until
I have seen all three of them, but I don't remember much.
You shouldn't have admitted to that on the air.
I needed to see them all. So what if there's an element of deception here where like we could be a kind of royal reporter, a Jenny Bond figure.
Right.
Going into the palace to interview the satisfying leader, but maybe slipping our hand across the table to reach for a pen and just grazing their forearm and say, "I'm so sorry, Your Royal Highness," but your eyes linger for too long and your mouth's saying sorry, but your eyes are saying, "Let's take this to the clouds."
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it could be that. Yeah. Are we? The thing is
will there be animated fucking?
Well, that bit obviously.
Will it be a quick time event? Press X.
I love the idea of like I'm sat in the living room and I hear from in here just like I come in and it's like you've got to tap X to fill the cumometer.
Oh, before it can spew out.
Yeah.
With full force.
So that it can spew out with full force.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Now, with your version, is it that we're just going to interview the one satisfying leader? Because I quite liked the idea of
multiple.
Yeah, of each of them having different aspects. You know, like so-and-so, he's got a plane. That's quite close to the clouds.
Yeah, very.
That's very close to the clouds. But he's also a real prude. So maybe you want to get him as a side piece.
Yeah.
And then actually really go for it with somebody else. And then you can cuck the pilot by getting him to fly you and, I don't know, some sort of Russian official into the sky. So
to have a threesome in the clouds.
That's what you tell him, and then actually you're like, "Oh, eyes on the sky, big guy." And
he didn't think of the logistics.
You're there, dick out the window.
Interesting idea. I do quite like the idea of playing the satisfying leaders off each other in order to fill. There must be like a sort of horniness meter that our character has, like The Sims, And maybe that's a skill you can train. Like, you get better at being horny, but you also get better at relieving it via a satisfying leader
Pretty sure
encounter.
that's what tantric's all about, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Let's look at another one.
Let's have a little look.
Head, needy, shopping. Meaningless. Needy head shopping.
Head is the verb
Yeah.
here.
But we can switch it up. I think it's got to be needy head shopping.
Needy head shopping.
When are you needier for a head? It's when you've just been decapitated. So this is, they did those experiments where you
Don't
decapitate
carve
a
milk
chicken
into me.
and it can live with just its brainstem for a while. One of them lived for a really long time, and then its cause of death after it had been decapitated? It choked.
Shame.
It choked to death. They were feeding it through a little pipette or something. I think this is true. I'm pretty sure I didn't read it in a storybook.
Yeah.
I'm pretty darn sure. I won't
You
be
sure?
fact checking. But what if this is answering the great question of how do you get a new head when your one's been cut right off?
And I just so that the game lasts longer than the time it takes for you to go, oh, you can't.
No. But in our
is it
fiction,
set in
you
it
can.
is set in a universe where you can do that.
Maybe you're
so
ghosts.
what's the setup here? Like,
Thanks for asking.
because if it is the case, you've been decapitated, you've been guillotined.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's because you've done some terrible crime.
No,
they're not
you're
going
wrongly accused.
They're not okay
of being a forger.
Okay, fair enough. They're not going to just let the body stand up, walk away, and head over to the new head shop.
No, but that's the
it's
thing.
sort of like
It's the
defeats
perfect
the
crime
purpose.
because no one's checking on the body after the head's been cut off.
So
They
this
cremate
isn't-
the head.
This isn't a public execution.
It is. But they commonly would just leave you where you
classic
fell.
misdirection. Everyone's looking at the head
And in
the
fact,
basket.
what about this? Part of the opening portion of the game could be getting your head angle just right so that it has maximum roll, and therefore everyone's watching the head cinematically roll down the steps, eyes gagging out, tongue lolling, stump bleeding ferociously as it finally twitches out of existence and the brain dies. But meanwhile, that distraction, and maybe you can slightly control the head, press spacebar when it bounces to get some real boing, boing, get it down to the riverbed.
Yeah.
Riverbank, I mean, not the riverbed. Although
Everyone's diving in.
because maybe in this
surprise.
fiction, the person that gets the head is like those weird French cakes,
It's like the
Where
bouquet at the wedding.
Yeah, or where you bite into a little sixpence and then you get to keep Christmas or whatever. So you're bouncing the head away. Meanwhile, the body is free to roam off and to fuck off to some kind of head supermarket district or something. This bit I'm not sure about.
What if instead of that, it's that the head you can only ever see from the head,
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's an interesting idea.
and you get
That's going to make a lot of people motion sick when it rolls into the river.
so no. Well, this is it. I'm saying that there's the classic basket. Down comes that you're looking into the basket.
Yep.
You hear
Easy graphics.
ching.
Yeah.
You tumble in there. You roll down. You look
What would
up,
you scream? What would you say? Was there a button to say that?
You scream justice,
Justice! Yeah.
but you only get just it,
Oh,
and then
did somebody say
and then you're looking up. You can see blood spurting out from your
from
neck.
your body?
But then you kind of there, and you realise you can still see, and then you think about moving your arm,
and it
and you
moves.
see that your arm moves.
Okay.
And so then from down here,
Yeah.
you're looking up at yourself, but you're controlling the body. And you've got to fight off the guards as they come to get you,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're having to use the direction that you can see
So
from
it's all
another
relative.
angle.
That's very
Then you've got
hard.
to pick. Yeah, exactly. The first level.
Can it be VR
hours.
enabled, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
Really good.
Then you've got to pick up your head and holding it under your arm, escape.
So this is like the origin story for the Headless Horseman.
Exactly.
Where'd you get
This
the
is
horse?
what happened. Well, you've got to trade your head for it.
Oh, I see. Hence the neediness.
Yeah.
is
But I'm thinking maybe there's some sort of very complicated, the deep magic rules that
Yeah.
mean you can't ever have that head back on your shoulders.
Or the body collapses.
Yeah, so you need to find a new head.
What if there's a certain life force attached, each head when cut off affords you X post-mortem running around time? So you need to keep replacing heads. It's like of the vampire's curse. The curse of having to suck virgin blood is now replaced by the curse of having to wear.
They got one of the
anyone's
better
head.
curses.
But what about that? You have to just keep swapping them out. So you have to do good crimes with decapitation as the main goal, so
Right.
you can swap out your head for theirs.
But I think at the same time, you've got to maintain the morality meter. You can't just go chopping off anyone's head.
Well,
And because if you go and you like chop off someone's head and it turns out they were like a mother of three,
yeah, or a mother of three,
moral equivalence there.
That's going to be bad. The
that brings it down,
townsfolk will
and that
be
means
after
and you've got less time. The head starts to decay a lot quicker, and maybe you lose a different limb.
Okay, that could be a DLC. We don't.
So
want...
it's harder. It's harder to get the bad people's heads because they're better protected and they're more wary of you.
Yeah. Well, they love to have their heads, don't they? The evil.
They need them, and they're always watching their backs.
For example,
and the head is just above the back, so they're always watching their heads, basically.
Yeah.
So it's more difficult to get them, but they last for longer. So if you're in like real dire straits,
you have to just go.
The guy next to you,
a kid,
you've
got a tiny little head
on yours,
a baby's head.
You can't turn as much.
Could we get some of that licensed in that middleware that they used in like FIFA around like 2009, 2010 era, where you could use the iToy to map your own face onto one of the heads? So every so often you get all your friends round and get them to map their heads, and every so often you're going to decapitate someone, turn the head round to have a look, and it's yours. It's theirs.
I'm going to stop you there. You can do that.
That's good.
But nobody will, because it's too horrific.
I think we could maybe have a kind of DRM where you have to have put your own head in the game in order to play it, and that could be called Get Your Head in the Game mode. Next one and last one, in fact, for the day. Object. Paw.
Throat.
Paw throat object. This is an easy one. This is like Surgeon Simulator.
Okay, go on.
The problem is, your patient's been playing this head game, something rotten, and they've missed. They've gone, instead of, if you're decapitating someone, you want to go high up, right? Right under the chin. Not an old person's flabby chin where it's like a turquoise.
No.
Whatever that horrible word is.
Wattle.
Yeah, don't like that. And also I don't like the thing that it is.
Wattle.
Could you say it with more of a like, when people do that sort of...
Wattle.
Yeah, there it was on the tall, that bit. Sorry about that, guys. You've hit too low and you've cut off throat and head. So now you're in desperate need of a paw throat object replacement to kind of facilitate the breathing and the swallowing and the spewing of vomit as it needs to be done. So maybe you start off with like a paper straw connecting head and corpus, and then you can upgrade that to like a pipe from Mario or Flappy Bird, and then eventually the channel tunnel. It's just a game about how big can my throat be and how much bandwidth can it have for stuff.
I was thinking more along the lines of, this is a sort of, it's not actually too dissimilar from the first game, from Interview Satisfying Leader, but it's also a bit of a stealth game in that, in cartoons and also in the real world sometimes, in snakes, how if they like swallow something,
you can see that.
You can see the shape in the throat.
So it's a guessing game.
No, you're the person with the thing in the throat.
This is not good for me. I don't like to get stuff. I make myself sick every time I get food stuck in my throat.
You don't have. It's just
so I have
in the
to
game.
do it as well in life.
No, you don't.
Otherwise, the DRM won't.
Cannot stress enough that
throat in the game.
Nothing's going in your throat.
Oh God, it's giving me anxiety though. This whole premise.
And what happens is that you've got to just go through a day in your life.
Hang on, why has this happened though? How am I, as the gamer, a pro gamer, going to believe that this foolish incident could occur where I've swallowed a
because
turnip?
You are a spy in Toontown.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so, there are already people who are willing to believe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But also people who have unnatural powers of intuition and often sort of just psychic ability.
Yeah.
So you've got to like smuggle stuff across Toontown. And
can it be like knockoff Toontown? Because it's going to be super expensive to get any like actual
Roger Rabbit
licenses.
kind of, yeah. No. Yeah.
We can have like Richard, Bunny. Who else is there in that verse?
Darwin Duck.
Yeah, nice. You've done this before, Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
Copyright infringement.
So you've got to get from one side to the other with increasingly ludicrous objects clearly in your throat.
Yeah, like
and it's
the
about
Venus de Milo.
Yeah, that's like
Sideways.
That's like 70% of the way through the game.
Yeah. What does it end with? The whole Earth.
You have to have a whole version of yourself just in there, or a bus.
Or a bus. We'll get that in post.
So you're like wandering through, and it's part stealth. You know, trying to hide yourself from view as much as possible. But then also, when someone does spot you, it's about persuading them to just don't worry about it.
Okay.
This is like fine. And so you've got to combine those, and then
so it's like a conversation tree where you have to really be persuasive.
Exactly.
Can we code in like
also? Sometimes they are going to just know. So there is a combat element where you've just got to fight for your life.
Can we just have it so we shoot them dead?
No.
Okay, so
because otherwise every level is the same.
It's just
shoot your way across
and then
Toonsville.
But what's our ultimate goal? Is it to dislodge these objects, or are we using our throat as a kind of internal pocket to transfer them from point A to point B? Maybe we're robbing a museum, and the throat
I think the paw element.
Yeah.
I think it's paw throat object.
Okay.
You have to get it across town to pawn it to feed your family.
Okay, yeah, that is nice. And then there can be a whole thing where, like, you get the family involved in the bigger objects. So you've all got your mouth around, say, a stadium.
Yeah, and all 5 of you are just around it, wandering through town.
Like a sort of revolving.
And someone's like, what you got there, Doland? And you go... When you like just let a little bit of lip go, the sounds of the thousands of people inside screaming, they just come out.
They would have come out. They'd come out with a vengeance, to be honest.
But the Toons, they're believing people. They're trusting folk,
and that's more for them. Fool them once, shame on them. Fool them again by eating a stadium. It's still shame on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's
no point at which it's your fault. No. It's always them, because honestly, they should know better.
They should
by
know
this
better.
point.
So there you have it. There's some game ideas. I mean, if you want to make them, don't be doing that, because they're all
trademark,
differently criminal in very clear ways. We've got a bunch of stuff going on that you can tell people about, Declan, while I just think about the world. I'm talking ways to get in touch. I'm talking ways to support. I'm talking ways to reach through our cavities and grab our beating hearts. Over to you.
Well, the last one there speaks for itself. You guys know what to do on that front. I've seen some of your photos, and I know what you're up to. In terms of getting in touch, lads, we've got a Twitter, and we've been sending tweets from there.
We've been doing a whole new thing.
Isaac made a sort of accusation about Edward Snowden from there.
No, that was Declan. I don't know why he did it.
He tweeted it out, and thankfully Ed hasn't seen it, or maybe he did, and he's gone back into hiding.
Yeah.
We've been doing some audiograms, haven't we?
Give them a like and a share, would you? Because in lieu, as I said, of becoming a Patreon subscriber, which you should do, there's bonus episodes there. We're going to do another one just tomorrow. It's going to be loads of stuff. But in lieu of that, just sharing those audio things, tag someone that you think might like it, might like our comedy stylings about throats and heads and and semen, I suppose. Absolutely. Very bodily decayed so far, isn't it? See if we can put that behind us.
I've asked this several times, and you keep bringing us back to the good ship semen.
Doth protest too much in that regard, because it's always you pulling the semen strings back into the kind of cum puppeteer that you are. Sorry, I interrupted. You had some more to say. Back to you.
we are doing these audiograms, so share them, because they are good and they do seem to get a little bit more traction. And also, it's a great way to enjoy just 40 seconds of some premiere content from that past. You can email. We love a little email. I don't actually like getting emails, but I do like getting emails from you guys. That's the only email that I like. So send those our way at TAS.
Right.
So it's TAS, TAS, at shame.city.
That's a good place to send stuff, isn't it? You can send attachments.
Shame.city/contact as well to get in touch via the contact form on the website. Have a little look around the website, because there are some clues.
Some secrets.
As to secret new doings.
ARG. Yeah, that's all true, what Declan said. Anything else?
I don't know. Well, you mentioned the Patreon. Patreon.com/ShameCity.
There's a promo.
There is a promo. You can get some stickers. You can get badges. You can get... That's it, really. But you can also, if you are a patron anyway, you can get new content.
Yeah.
You can... Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. No, you can wear the badges. You can put the stickers on things.
There's bear stuff on there as well. There's a pillow available, a cushion that we were just talking about before. There's you can join our Minecraft server. I've just decided that's a good idea.
We've got a Minecraft server, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got that as well.
Okay, well that's good.
And we'll probably just send you stuff from now and then, just check in with you, see what is going on with your life.
Shame.city/Discord. Pop into there.
Get in
We've been asked a couple of questions in there. We've sent job recommendations. We've sent recipes. We've sent... Isaac sent some horrible meat man thing, the muscle man poem and visual.
And song.
The good thing about the Discord is it's a real lucky dip. You do not know what's going to come out of there. It could be nothing. It could be the worst thing you ever saw. But it might also be roundly okay, and that's fine.
One final important note: if you're any good at Smash Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch, hit me up because we want some training. We want training. We're not good.
We're getting there, but we've also got promise. Extremely bad.
We're third best all rounder in the flat.
Are you sharing that one with me now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Of course.
That's a BDDD.
Why not? Fucking pass it on. You guys as well. Put it on your CVs. Until the next one, I think we're overdue one where we've planned some content in advance. So leave that to us.
Are you taking the piss?
I know you had a whole poem, didn't you?
Are you fucking taking the absolute
I just mean because we should do that every week.
What you mean maybe is it's about time you prepared some fucking content.
I prepare all of the content in a way.
Oh yeah, go on.
In the way that I record it on this lovely computer that I strive to buy, and the sweat of my brow pays for all of this stuff. Until episode...
And the sweat of our patrons' brows pays your tax return.
Thanks, boys. I've been Isaac.
I have been Declan. Yeah, no, you're right.
Whatever those games were, have a play of them in your imagination and get back to us soon. Love you.
GG.
Necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Necessities, the bare necessities come to you.